Who runs the world? Women. After a very hot all-out show, AEW followed with a very good Dynamite tonight where the women ruled the show. We have some fun announcements. We had some great matches. Let's get into it.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Hey, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Mark It Down podcast. My name is Nick Cummings, joined this week by James Jasanti, back here once again to review AEW Dynamite.
Dynamite!
This being obviously the first show after All Out on Saturday. So a lot of follow-ups, some new champions, and we had a lot of fun. But speaking of champions, we are going to start off with Tony Khan's big announcement that came right before the main event of Dynamite. And very quickly, Tony got right into it, saying that they had one of the best women's rosters in the world, and finally announced the creation of new AEW Women's World Tag Team Championships. He then quickly sent it to Renee Paquette, who was standing ringside with the new titles, and she got to unveil them. And they look very similar to the men's world titles, which I actually kind of like.
I do too. I'm not crazy. I think I don't like how WWE handled a lot of their women's stuff. Where
they just made them white?
Yeah, like cheap copy and pastes. I don't know why this worked for me. I think it really did just make it feel like equals. Because it wasn't look at this brightened version of the belt. It's the same exact belt. We just slapped on women's tag. You could argue that maybe it's a little lazy. But on the other hand, it really did make this automatically feel equal to the men's tag team titles. So I'm kind of for it.
Yeah, and I think there's some smaller, probably more intricate redesigns in there, at least from what I could see from what they showed. I imagine at some point they're going to put out better high-res pictures of the title where you can really get an up-close look at it. But in the meantime, I was very excited for this announcement. I'm very excited to see some of the tag teams that form from this, and since we have a few, but we're going to need some more. So the storylines that come out of it, and as we say hi to Maria in the chat, the upcoming tournament is going to be amazing, as she said.
No matter how you may feel about tournaments, and everyone's got their opinion and everyone's valid, I think this is an instance where a tournament is going to benefit pretty much everyone involved.
100%. So. Yeah, no, because like I said, you're going to get so many more storylines for the women. You already have a few tag teams floating around. You have Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne. You have the Triangle of Madness and whatever configuration you want to go with there. Where I imagine it'll be Julia and Sky Blue. We're going to have to create some face tag teams, I think. You had Statlander, and she's running with Harley Cameron, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But very clearly, Statlander already has a title. Throwing another one there would be a bold move. And, you saw you had Ty J. Although we had Harley with Anna as well, so maybe we get Ty J back. There's a few teams floating around. But, yeah, I think this is a very good point for Maria here. We're really going to start to see how stacked the women's division is in AEW, just because there had been so many women, but it's hard for them to rise to the top because it has been a fairly top-heavy division of late, and now this gives them another opportunity to really get in the ring, show out, and have high-profile matches on AEW cards. So very excited about this, and obviously I think we'll have a lot to talk about it moving forward as we get more information and the title tournament starts and stuff like that. In the meantime, we are going to stick with the women's division, though, as the main event of the evening was the newly crowned AEW Women's World Champion, Kris Statlander, facing off against Mina Shirakawa for the title. Before the match, that little piece of shit Wheeler Yuta was out there once again, giving Statlander advice presumably so. And this is something he also did at All Out, and he's been doing it on and off for the last few months or so, following Moxley's talking to of Statlander. To jump to the end of this match here, after Mina hit a series of strikes and kicks to Stat's head, she went for the spinning bat fist, the hurricane, and she was actually able to land it. Mina then went down for the figure four, as she had been working over Statlander's knees throughout the match in an attempt to lock that in. She actually did lock that in at one point a bit earlier before this, but when Mina went for that, Statlander was able to counter it and reverse it into the seatbelt pin once again, and was able to defend her title on her first try here tonight against Mina. James, I guess we'll talk about the post-match in a minute, but I loved this match. This was a great event. I'm glad they went with this one. I know we had multiple title matches throughout the night, but I'm glad they went with this one in the main event, not just because of what happened after, but because of what happened during the match. This was beautifully wrestled by both of these women. Very hard hitting.
Yeah.
It surprised me a little. I know Mina and Stat can throw hands, but I never realized how equal they almost were power-wise. This ended up being phenomenal.
No, I thought this was a great match, a great main event for AEW, a great first defense for Stat. I feel bad for Mina, and more than anything, I kind of feel bad for the ROH Women's TV Championship. This is the second instance in a row where Mina was put in a title match to lose. And I'm never a fan of having your champion lose to another champion. There are instances that it should work. And I think it's fine here because of just how good both of these women are. But there is a level of, I just kind of wish they didn't book this matchup. Overall, though, how good it was made me quickly just let go of all that resentment, all of those issues. And I just enjoyed it. Like you said, I enjoyed this matchup. Mina can go with anybody, you know?
Yeah, she's proven that.
And that's the reason she's put in these situations. That's the reason, we're going to see her eat some losses, but she's going to put on a great matchup. So really great, strong showing from the beginning. I know we're going to talk about the post-match right after. We should talk about the segment that happened earlier in the night. The backstage interview, just to set it up. Yeah. But just to finish up with this matchup, really, really well done. I think there's an interesting dynamic to this championship reign from Stat. Because the reign came out of nowhere, I think there is going to continuously be a feeling of this could end at any time. She does not feel like she's an unbeatable champion because of how shocking the title win was. And she does not feel like an unbeatable champion because, quite frankly, we've seen her take lots of losses on this journey to the title. So any defense could be her last. I didn't think she was going to lose to Mina, but there is always going to be that, oh my God, this could be it. And I felt that a little bit during the match because just of how good both women are at making you believe and buy into what they're doing. So very well done from both.
Yeah, to borrow something you've said before about title matches where you're pretty sure one person is going to win, the best thing you could do is, even if for a split second, make someone believe that that person's going to lose. And there were a few seconds there where Mina really had Statlander, and there were some great near falls in this match. So that's, I think, what really drew me into it, especially after the commercial break. They were really getting after it. So It was great, well wrestled by them. And I think that's a good point about Statlander's title reign. It was very surprising. I got spoiled on it because I didn't get to watch the pay-per-view day of.
Have you caught up with it, by the way? That's something I wanted to ask you. I would like to talk about it after we cover this.
I did finish the pay-per-view last night just to make sure. But I unfortunately opened my my internet app and it was right at the top.
Oh, buddy.
The post-game presser. And I was like, fuck it. So I had to ask,
are you caught up on WrestlePalooza?
No.
There you go.
I mean, I got some spoilers on that, but I did a really good job avoiding the spoilers this weekend. I did try to watch WrestlePalooza last night, but I wasn't able to get my ESPN access working. So
Anyway, you and a lot of people apparently.
Yeah, that's a whole thing, but that's neither here nor there for this. James, as you mentioned, there was an earlier segment with Kris Statlander, so we'll hit that real quick as she was being interviewed backstage by Renee Paquette, and before Renee could really finish introducing the new champ, Harley came in and gave her own introduction, much to the quote-unquote delight of Renee, who for the first time didn't seem happy to see Harley.
She was like, Harley's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Usually she loves seeing Harley. So
I have a theory. We're going to talk about it.
You still think Renee is a secret heel? That's your theory.
I think she's a secret heel. We're going to talk in a second. Go ahead. Keep it going.
I would say you did that rant last week if you want to do it again. But anyway, Renee asked Kris how she's feeling, and Stat says she's beat up, but she's a fighting champion, so she's still going to go out there tonight and fight. Renee moves on to the match itself, asking Statlander about Mina Shirakawa and bringing up Mina's relationship with Toni Storm. Stat says that she also loves Mina. Well, maybe not like Tony does, but somebody's got to beat her first, so they might as well give something to fans they'll never forget. Renee then gets in one more question, asking Statlander what her relationship is with the Death Riders. And Stat takes a long and fairly annoyed pause, for lack of a better phrase, before saying, things move pretty fast. And then Harley just couldn't keep her mouth shut anymore. So she jumps in saying things do move fast, like how fast she's going to run into Statlander's arms tonight when she wins. And then Harley sings us off. So that was that part. We also had an interview for Mina Shirakawa before the match, but we could talk about that later. And eventually that then led into the the post-match, as the first person to reach Statlander following her win was actually Wheeler Yuta, who returned following dub, and he was followed quickly by Harley Cameron, who, as she mentioned, came sprinting in there to hug Statlander.
Yep.
But then the ring was surrounded by the Death Riders. And then John Moxley's music hit, and he made his way out through the crowd with Marina Shafir.
Very upset about that. Very upset. I have a reason, but we'll get to it.
All right, we'll talk about all this in a second. So Moxley makes his way into the ring, and him and Statlander getting a bit of a stare down before Mox turns around and seemingly gives the okay for Yuta to go over and hug her. And Statlander is just like stone-faced, eventually like kind of hugs him back. And then Wheeler lifts her hand, and as he's doing so, kind of rotates her to face Harley in the corner.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, hey, you're going to have to prove yourself here and take her out, sort of wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah, they never said it. It was never like, do it. Like, he didn't give her the ultimatum, which I appreciated.
But I think it was kind of understood.
It was the implication.
You're with us, yeah.
They were on a boat.
Yeah. You never actually do it, but the implication. What happened instead was Statlander then just, because she still had Wheeler's arm, just took him and lariated the shit out of him, just laid him right out. And then Mox is stunned and finally gets it together to send Marina after Statlander. And Stat ducks Marina's wild right hand and gets face-to-face with Moxley in the corner. And instead of like being scared or anything, she just flips him the double birds right in his face. Like
he was laughing because of how great a moment it was.
Because she mushed him with her hands, and then she just hopped out the ring and bailed into the crowd with Harley quickly behind her, and they were able to get up the stairs where she continued to flip Moxley off, eventually beginning to really point and laugh at him when Darby Allin's music hit, and Darby came out walking like a zombie, wielding his flamethrower.
Yeah, that was nuts.
So the Death Riders all converge to the bottom of the ramp. And they're all kind of like, are we doing this? And Mox very clearly wants to, until Darby lowers the flamethrower, points it at them, and gives them a little shot of flame. And they're all like, not going to happen. And Mox is like, guys, come on, we got this. And then they're like, no, John, we're leaving. And then Darby shoots at him again, and it almost gets Mox. And he's like, okay, time to go. And they slowly back up. Moxley falls over the steel steps, which I think was unintentional, but phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. It looked unintentional, but he didn't comically do it.
Yeah.
So it looked natural, and it looked like, holy fuck, let me just get the fuck out of here. It was great. It was
Excalibur, I think it was Excalibur laughed at it, but like it worked. Like it added to the moment. So the Death Riders all retreat into the crowd, and Darby grabs a mic and says that, or asks Moxley when he's going to realize that he's going to never quit. And then he lays out a challenge for an I Quit match at Wrestle Dream. And then that was quickly followed by the announcement from Excalibur that Tony Khan had made official Darby Allin and Kris Statlander versus Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir for next week at the 6th anniversary of Dynamite. So, James, a lot happened here.
A lot happened here. So,
but it was all good.
Like for me, because I didn't really get a chance to say anything.
Sorry.
No. In the segment between Renee and Stat, Renee asking, "What's your relationship with the Death Riders?" I wanted so much for Stat to say, "What's your relationship with the Death Riders?" But we're ignoring this giant elephant in the room.
They mention it occasionally, but like before, I think we've talked about this. Like before All In, they had that big thing where Moxley and Renee were driving around, and she was just like, "What the fuck, John?" So, they do it occasionally, but I think they don't really want to make a thing of it. Hangman's mentioned it a few times, but they don't want to harp on the fact that they're in a relationship.
All I'm saying is she treats it like a sitcom marriage where it's like, oh, that John, what is he up to this week? Murder. Attempted murder. But all right. Anyway, further proving that I think she's involved with the Death Riders, and she was scoping out how Stat felt. So the Death Riders would come out later. I'm just saying. It's there. It's there. The segment afterwards, I was a little conflicted on. We literally saw Darby light Mox on fire. Like, he lit him on fire at the pay-per-view. And I know Mox is a tough son of a bitch. I know he comes out no matter what. If you're going to come out, at least sell the fact that you were lit on fire, man. Like, I did not need Mox. Like, I thought to myself throughout the night, it is weird that they didn't do any follow-up with Darby and Mox. But Mox absolutely either should not have been there or should have looked a little crispier.
Yeah. Did you order original recipe or extra crispy?
I'm not saying something. I wanted what?
Like something, right?
Yeah.
Like dumping water over himself, like just something to like be like, yeah, I got a little singed last weekend.
I'm not saying I wanted him to look like Anakin Skywalker, but like there needed to be some selling of the fact that he was lit on fire. So inherently, I wasn't crazy about that. The Darby stuff with them was okay. I think it lasted like a second too long, but I'm not going to complain about that too much. But realistically, I need there to he hyped up Wrestle Dream between the two of them. I need there to be resolution to this story.
Fair.
Because I'm not saying resolution to the Death Riders, but resolution to this story. Because realistically, the Death Riders feel stronger now than they did before. Like, they're at full force with Pac back. They have a new member in Danny Garcia. Like, I don't think they're going away, but I don't need to see this Darby Mox feud continue that much longer. Darby needs to get the win, and we need to move past it.
I agree. I also think that I don't know when the Death Riders will end. And honestly, I'm not entirely sure if I want to have them end just yet. But that inevitable conclusion does feel like it'll be in a blood and guts match.
I think so too, but we've already had it. Like, we already had the Stadium Stampede or Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah.
We already had Anarchy in the Arena. Sure, Blood and Guts could be like the finish to it, but I don't know. Like, I don't understand anymore. I feel bad criticizing it because, like, I like everyone involved. I like every single person involved, but I just don't know what comes next. And we've jokingly, the internet has jokingly compared the Death Riders to the Bloodline before. And the running joke with the Bloodline is we're still in the third inning. I don't know where the fuck we are with the Death Riders. Again, I'm not clamoring for that group to end, but what's the goal now? And I'm going to mention something else. We're going to jump a little bit with the op stuff.
Yeah,
I love the continuity of all of that. I groaned when I saw what the match was going to be for next week. So, again, we'll get into that, but I just don't know what the direction is anymore.
Yeah, I was going to use the word directionless, honestly, just because there's the Darby thing, and then they still have problems with the ops because they keep taking each other out, and they're still kind of half feuding over the Trios Championships. But outside of that, it's just like, okay, they can't go for the world title anymore. So Moxley is now just kind of what? He's dealing with Darby, but he's been dealing with Darby for a long ass time now. So we need something else. You know, we need to move on, or this needs to end. And I don't think it's ready to end. Especially as you said, they just added a new member. Pac just came back. Like, you can't end it now. That'd be kind of dumb.
I think the big thing is they're a group that's sort of defined by their goals and their intentions. Like, they're not a group for the sake of being a group almost. They're a group for the sake of we want to dominate AEW and we want AEW to be the way we want it to be.
Yeah, in our image.
And to do that, you need to be near the top of the card. But when you get defeated, that's pretty much the end of that story. They're not the Don Callis family, that it's all about success and it's all about winning championships and making money. They're not other groups that it's like, we're going to be a group no matter what happens. So I don't know. It feels weird, and I feel bad criticizing it again, but I need something. I need something because, and again, we're going to talk a little bit more about other Death Rider stuff shortly. We're going to talk about other things that they were involved in tonight, but I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get a pivot. I don't know what's happening, but there needs to, like you said, there needs to be a direction.
Yeah, and I think my thought was the direction was, okay, Moxley loses the title, then he, loses again, and it can no longer go for it. And you would think they would start getting weaker and move away from the top of the card because people leave, like whatever it is. Moxley decides that like Wheeler's not strong enough, and then I guess you could replace him with Garcia. But no, Garcia's just there now. Pac is back. Like they got stronger, as you mentioned, and like no, they should be declining.
Exactly.
And then I think we've also talked about this. The power vacuum was kind of getting filled by the Don Callis family, which I thought was really cool. And I guess it still sort of is, but part of that probably got thrown off with Wardlow getting hurt. Even then,
I don't think so. Like that group still feels like it's operating it's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I was only saying that just because the plan was probably, Wardlow takes the L and then maybe somebody else steps up. But you had Fletcher with the title, and he was probably going to stay away from all that, or maybe be the end game for for the Callis family challenging Hangman. But there's still a very big power vacuum that they can fill. It's just, I think the way they were going to fill it went awry. That being said, now we just have two big, powerful heel groups running like, 60% of the show because they're always involved because there's so many of them. Yeah. So it's a weird situation. I'm going to give it to, through the Darby match with the I Quit, just because I still am having fun with Moxley versus Darby.
Yeah.
But after that, I need to see what they're going to do to really be like, okay, we got to end this completely, or all right, we got the direction we want to go in now.
Yeah. No, I agree. Maria's saying,
we got a lot of comments from Maria.
The objective was never made clear. See, that's the thing. He kind of alluded to what the objective was very early, and then they did nothing with that concept to the point that we were talking about it week in and week out here on the pod about like, well, this is what they said they wanted. This is what they said they were going for, but none of their actions ever supported that. So I think it morphed quite a bit, and it just became about dominating in AEW because they thought they were the best, which is fine, but it's a little generic, and I think pales in comparison to what it could have been.
Yeah, I think it was just so ambiguous all of the time that even when Moxley was just like, yeah, this is, to reshape AEW in our image. Like, even then, bro, like, you were only kind of doing that, and it was more just you were just beating up people, for the longest time. So it did get very confusing there for a bit which was a big criticism of it, as you mentioned, up until I would say the end of the Copeland's feud.
Yeah.
Just some other comments that we missed from the beginning, mostly from Maria, who said Dynamite was awesome tonight. She was very proud of Statlander. I am too.
As we all are.
Glad she's getting her shot. The story with the Death Riders can finally boost Kris's character where it needed to be all this time. And something I was wondering, because, they were saying it's been 4 years since she's had a shot at the World Championship. Part of me was just like, well, she was hurt for part of that. I think.
She was. We talked about it a little bit. She was hurt. She was the TBS champion.
Yep.
And she was involved with like the Willow babyface heel back and forth.
Yeah, which got very confusing. So
I get how we got there, but it is still crazy that it was 4 years.
Yeah. And I also think because she was hurt, again, she had 2 huge knee surgeries. I could see Tony being like, all right, you're gonna have to prove to me that you can stay healthy for a little while before I put the title on you. You know what I mean? As we say hello to Dragoon, what's going on, dude? So I could see maybe that being a thing as well. But I'm glad, she finally made it to the top. And Maria suggesting a Death Riders versus Don Callis family story. And that seems like it could be fun in the future. That seems very like Shield versus Wyatt's.
Yeah. It's weird because we know we're on the precipice of the Don Callis family looking very different very soon.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to lose one of their crown jewels in either Okada or Takeshita. I don't think it's going to be Okada.
Yeah.
So
which is a shame, but
I think Takeshita's turning face.
Yeah, so do I. No, I'm just calling it a shame because I just love Takeshita with Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
And Kyle's also feuding with Yuka Sakazaki all the time, which is also great. But yeah, so I agree with you. I think that Takeshita face turn is something because we want to cheer him. Like, I cheered him a bunch tonight just because the shit he was doing in that match was great.
He's so cool.
I know. We'll talk about some of what he did later. Oh, I can't. I'm so excited about talking about that. And Dragoon asking if Jamie Hayter won yet. No. But she didn't get pinned on Saturday, so there's that.
Yeah, she took a gnarly spear.
Yeah, off the apron. I also believe she cut a promo for the socials for AEW's their stuff after Dynamite because she's fighting somebody on Collision. So
yeah,
she just wants to fight on Collision. But all right, that wraps up pretty much all of that. We'll get to more Death Rider stuff later. But let's head to the top of the show where we opened with a brief backstage promo from one Hangman Adam Page. And he kicked things off by applauding Kyle Fletcher's efforts on Saturday. He says he is still the champ, and he is now looking forward to seeing what Kyle does from here. He then turns his attention to his opponent tonight, saying he went to Tony Khan and asked to fight the best wrestler Pittsburgh had to offer, and Lee Moriarty was the one who stepped up, and, well, they'll have their title match later. That went into our first match, which saw Brodido face off against GOA for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Now, before the match, we got a quick picture-in-picture promo, which I imagine was probably put up online beforehand because of the way it was cut, from The Demand, with Ricochet saying that they were set to go for the Trios titles after beating the Hurt Syndicate, but Kazuchika Shibata wasn't cleared after what happened to him, I guess, on the pre-show. I forgot to watch the pre-show. So Tony Khan gave them a tag title match instead. To jump to the end of the match, with referee Aubrey Edwards distracted because Toa Leona had sent Brody King into the timekeeper's area. Ricochet, who was on commentary, left the announce desk and grabbed a chair, bringing it into the ring. However, this genius not only takes his sweet-ass time, but bangs the chair really loudly a bunch so that the referee can clearly hear it. So Aubrey comes back into the ring and catches him and then throws him out from ringside. Bandido then used this distraction to attempt to actually get a roll-up on Bishop Kahn, but Kahn was able to kick out of that. GOA then had their 2-on-1 advantage, and they were able to really take it to Bandido, leading to a pinfall attempt, and then Brody came out of nowhere to break that up. Brodido was then able to split up GOA, with Leona being sent to the outside and Kahn being sent to the ropes, where he was perfectly set up for the 21-plex. So both Brody and Bandido hit the opposite ropes. Brody went for a tope suicida to take out Leona, and Bandido hit the 21-plex onto Kahn to pick up the win and defend their titles. So fun match, James. GOA continues to impress me every time I see them.
Yeah.
And they have been great with Ricochet, but I feel like they were really on it tonight working with these two guys. So this was a great opening match. It really got the crowd into it, and just an absolute pleasure to watch.
So I am really loving the Demand.
They're good.
One, I think it's a cool name. Two, I loved Ricochet on commentary because he really put them over. He was working to make them look and sound good. So I really got to give it to Ricochet there. And
which, if I may, for somebody who is not exactly known for his talking,
yeah,
or hadn't been until now in AEW, yeah, he did a really good job on commentary.
I very much agree. So I enjoyed all of that. I was very frustrated with this matchup happening. It was great. It was great. I love that the Ring of Honor champion was the smallest man in the match. They played into that, yet he was still the one who got the pin.
Yeah.
I thought that was very, very well handled. They did a great job of making Brody the hot tag guy. They did a great job of establishing how he was the difference maker in the matchup, but at the same time still allowing Bandido to get the win. So this was a really fun matchup. And yeah, GOA looks great. But I don't know why you would waste that win from All Out. Where they looked so good. They looked so strong. They got the win. They didn't cheat in that trios match. They didn't necessarily. They were fighting a little dirty. He tried to cheat, but they won that pretty clean. So I don't know why you'd immediately have them lose a title match. I'm not saying they should be next in line for the tag titles to be champions. I'm not saying, oh God, why aren't they champions? But let them continue to rack up some wins before you get to the title match.
Actually, I agree. Same thing. Like, I love the fact that this match happened just because it was very good. But thinking about it that way, with that logic, you make a good point, because I understand the kayfabe logic of we were supposed to get trio tags title shot. There you go. But we didn't get it, so we get this title shot instead. Whereas you could have built them up for a while, given them more wins, maybe a different feud real quick, before you eventually want to take the titles off of the Ops. Yep. But instead now they immediately lose, and now it's like, okay, can they still go for the trios titles eventually? Or do you have to build them all the way back up again? Or are they going to have another match with the Hurt Syndicate? I don't know what's going on.
And Ricochet said it on commentary, too. Like, we were this close to winning the trios titles before we got screwed out of it. We should be double champions after tonight. So we can even just play up the idea, we didn't win the trios titles, we're getting screwed over, and you just have Ricochet complaining every week, building up heat, building up him being annoying. And I think this match happening a month from now, this same exact match, this same exact outcome, all of it would have been great. I just think, as Maria says, this match did not have to happen tonight.
Yep.
So I don't. Again, I feel like I enjoyed tonight's Dynamite quite a bit, but I found myself at multiple points thinking we're not building off of All Out the way we should be. I felt that way with Mox and Darby. I felt that way here. I feel that I felt it a couple more times, but in a vacuum, separate from All Out, I still did enjoy tonight a lot. Like, this matchup was great. So I don't want to spend too much time focusing on what I didn't like, but I need to address it. And I thought the match was strong.
Yeah, and I think not only is that fair commentary, it's actually very constructive commentary as well, because, you know, as you mentioned, this didn't follow up All Out very well. The Mox and Darby a little bit, mostly just because Darby was probably selling more than Moxley.
He really was. He really was.
Yeah. And then you also mentioned, you always have your issues with the Ring of Honor guys or girls losing like AEW title matches. So I get where you're coming from on all this, but damn if it wasn't still enjoyable as all hell.
It was. It really was. It really, really was. And I think we could say GOA are definitely more AEW guys than ROH guys at this point. I think they've made the jump.
Yeah. Oh, I was referring to Mina again, as you did.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight,
and another match that we're going to talk about in a second. But
yeah. Yeah, great match. Glad I got to see it, even though maybe the timing of it wasn't great.
Yeah.
After this, we went backstage to an interview with the Conglomeration, and they were damn near at full strength.
I don't even know what full strength for that group is. I have no concept of what that full group is at any moment.
Well, they got somebody back tonight, which we'll get to later, and they're Ishii's in Japan. Other than that, I think that's pretty much full strength.
I know and I respect. I would never want him to go back on this. I respect very much that Mark does not ever want to be a tag team with anybody ever again. I respect that. Him and the guy who came back as a tag team would be incredible.
Yeah, it would be great, but they're still together in the Conglomeration. They still have the trios matches together, so it's still works.
Of course.
And they get to play off each other.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, the guy who came back is on James' shirt. Anyway, speaking of Mark Briscoe, Alicia asked him about Don's choices for their match tonight in terms of who's in the match, and Mark is thrilled that Don picked his heavy hitters since they're in Pittsburgh, a city known for grinding it out. Alicia then asked them about their third partner, but the word of the day is mystery. So he can't divulge that information, no matter how much she peels or how hard she squeezes to attempt to get that juicy information out of him. But the future of the Conglomeration is still bright, so maybe he should put on his shades. And then Mark did his Mark thing and screamed into the camera, and everyone left. And Kyle hung back to thank Jane, or rather Alicia. I don't know where his head was.
All right. Okay. Damn it. When I was watching it, I was like, what the hell was that? And then all right, yeah.
The name of the song.
Yeah.
No, because if they didn't lay it on thick enough.
Yeah. No, I got
Saturday.
Everything, obviously. I didn't catch it, and I was like, what did he call her?
Yeah.
And, okay, there you go.
No, but I was saying, like, as if they didn't lay it on thick enough on Saturday, they applied about 4 more coats of paint.
I mean, the best part about it is commentary selling it like they had no fucking clue what this was.
Excalibur going like, I'm a little bit dense, but who do you think it is, Brian? I have no idea.
I have no idea. It's a mystery.
Yeah, Taz doing it. He's just like, of course I don't fucking know. All right. After this, we came back for commercial with that Kris Statlander and Harley Cameron backstage interview, and then that led into our next match, which saw Hangman Adam Page face off against Lee Moriarty for the AEW Men's World Championship in an open challenge. Just to jump to the end of this here, where after Page was able to escape the Motor City stretch, he got up and attempted a Deadeye, but Moriarty was able to wiggle out of it to his feet. And then Lee went to spin Hanger around, and as he did so, Hangman just decapitated him with a lariat and then hit Moriarty with a Deadeye to retain his championship. So, James, I like this match. I did miss a couple of it because I was dealing with some stuff with my computer as I was, trying to take notes and set all this shit up. But Lee Moriarty continues to impress me every time I see him. I can understand why he's the pure champion. And I think he got that's not the usual cat.
This is Jason.
Hi. Anyway, as I was saying about Lee, I'm glad he got this opportunity tonight in his home crowd. And I think, he proved that he's got the talent, at least in ring wise, to hang with, one of the best in the world in Hangman, both in kayfabe and out. So really good match out of both these guys, obviously, but very happy for Lee that he was able to get this chance tonight.
No, I very
even though I know the Ring of Honor Pure Champion lost. And
I actually didn't mind it in this instance because Mina is somebody who we don't see. No, Mina is somebody we see often. Mina has a lot of AEW TV time. So that's why I'm not thrilled with her losing to either AEW champions or to AEW talent, because she should be representing ROH a little bit stronger, as opposed to Lee Moriarty, who does not get a lot of AEW TV time. He's on Ring of Honor a lot. He's featured very heavily on Ring of Honor TV, but he doesn't get a lot of AEW TV time. I love that they gave him that hype package beforehand. He's not a new guy. He's not an unknown talent to AEW, but it has been a while since he's featured heavily on AEW TV.
We've been seeing him a little bit, especially with Blake Christian, because they run together. So sometimes they've been tagging, sometimes he's been in Blake's corner, but he hasn't really gotten a single match in a while on AEW TV.
Yeah. So I
or
was
am I
fine.
confusing? Wait, am I confusing him with Johnny Lee Johnson?
Yeah, you are.
My bad.
It's okay.
Because it leads with Shane Taylor Promotions.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Shane Taylor Promotions, which is like killing it right now.
Yeah.
So good for them. But yeah.
So then you're very, very right. We don't see him a lot on TV except for like pre-shows for the pay-per-views.
Yeah. So this is now he's now the longest running Ring of Honor Pure Champion
ever. Wow.
Ever. The previous record holder was Nigel, and he beat Nigel while in this title reign. So I don't mind it as much. Athena was different, even though it's the same rules that she didn't appear that heavily on AEW TV prior. But Athena is like Athena. They made her. She is Ring of Honor in a lot of ways, as opposed to Lee Moriarty. That it's like, you know what? If we're starting to reintroduce him to AEW TV, it's fine that he lost. He lost to the AEW World Champion, and the crowd was into him. So I know it goes against what I usually say, but I was more than okay with this matchup. Hangman has been super hot. I think it was a little weird. I don't know why AEW has open challenges that we know who's challenging before the match starts. I always think that's so silly. Half the fun of an open challenge is the surprise of it all, the mystery of it all. And I'm not saying Lee Moriarty shouldn't be somebody who can do that, but I feel like they booked it a little funny. They booked it a little silly. But overall, this was a lot of fun. This was a good matchup. Hangman looked great. Great reintroduction for Moriarty to AEW audiences. And pure champion or not, I think we're going to start seeing him more on TV.
Yeah, I don't mind the open challenge thing, other side. I don't mind the open challenge thing that much, just because, kayfabe-wise, Hangman goes to the back. He goes, Tony, I want to defend my title tonight, whoever you got. And Tony goes, okay, and just lets the locker room know. And then the first person to get there gets
Moriarty just runs.
Yeah. So
I would actually love that one day. AEW, WWE, TNA, whoever wants to do it. The champion.
Did NXT do it?
Where a bunch of people just run or try
and it led to like a huge brawl outside the ring, and then whoever the champion was that was wanted to have the open challenge, like took them all out by hitting like a crazy tope or something.
That's fun.
I forget who the champ was, but yeah, they did. Pretty sure they did do it. So
that is really fun. The only other thing I can remember comparing it to is when Mick Foley was introducing the 24/7 championship, and literally whoever the first to grab the title from him would be champion. Oh, just silly stuff.
Yeah, so I don't mind. And sometimes they'll have an open challenge and the person doesn't know who it is. And a lot of times that'll be whether it's somebody who's debuting or a big return or something like that. So, I mean, Max Caster open challenge is we don't know when he was doing that. So it was cool.
Yeah.
To hit the comments real quick, apparently Maria was not interested in this match, which hopefully changed your mind a little bit. I thought it was pretty good. And Fernando said that he thinks that the champion should not be wrestling on TV every week.
I am so 50-50 on that concept because for me, when you become champion, that is the pinnacle of where you are as a character and as a wrestler. Doesn't matter if you're a champion once, 5 times, however many times, you are at the top of what you are doing. Arguably, I want to see you wrestle even more. I understand the notion of you need to protect your champion from a logistical standpoint. You don't want to wear him down, like physically. And I also understand wanting to make it feel special when your champion wrestles. It should feel like a big deal when your champion wrestles. But I remember, and I use this example a lot, when Kenny was AEW World Champion, I feel like I saw him wrestle the least I've ever seen him wrestle.
I mean, he was also falling apart.
I understand. Hindsight 2020, I understand. But I'm like, man, Kenny's champion. Why? I want to see him wrestle. I want to see AEW champion Kenny Omega wrestle. But I see both sides of it, and I think there's a balance that needs to be maintained. I agree with Fernando. It shouldn't be every week.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be a Roman Reigns thing. I don't know. I don't know that I fully agree. I get it. But I think someone like Cody Rhodes is a good example. He's not wrestling every week, but he's wrestling more often than not. And I think that's sort of what I want from a world champion.
I think Hangman so far in this title reign has struck a fairly good balance, but a lot of it has to do with the character of the champion, right?
Yeah.
So Moxley, he wrestled enough, but he wrestled, I think, far less when he was champ than he is now. He's been wrestling almost every week up until this week. So, and you can see the difference. But his character when he was champ wouldn't wrestle you unless he thought you deserved it. And in order to deserve it, you really had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get to him. So it made sense. Hangman is more of a fighting champion. So him going out there, wanting this match, and then being in the tag match next week makes sense to me. Now, I think the week after, he probably isn't in a match. And if I remember correctly, did he have a match on September to Remember?
Hangman?
I don't think so. Could be wrong, but it was a week ago, and my brain doesn't last that long.
He did, because what's his name? Fletcher said, "I promise I'm going to leave you."
Yeah. Oh, yes. The promo was after Hangman's opening match of the night. That's right. So, okay. All right. So he is wrestling quite a bit, but he doesn't always wrestle.
Yeah.
So, but you almost always see him, and sometimes there's physical violence in that as well. So I can see what you're saying, Fernando. You got to strike the right balance, strike the right chord with it. And I think the balance really depends on who the champ is. So as of right now, I think we're okay with Hanger and his wrestling rate, but maybe at the rate he's going, you could dial it back in a week or two.
Yeah.
But the thing is, next week is the 6-year anniversary of Dynamite. That's why he's wrestling.
Yeah, you need to have your world champion on that.
Yeah. And then I think
not the match he's in, mind you, but yes, you should be on it.
And I think after that might be they are going back to Jacksonville, so he might be wrestling again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. After this, we got some footage from backstage after All Out of Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Renee was outside of their locker room, and as Cope was going in, she tried to get a word with him about what happened to Beth and her condition following FTR's attack on her, but he politely declined as he was just like, I just can't at the moment. So he goes into the locker room where Christian is, and even though he can't talk to Renee, the camera can follow him in. And Christian asks him what's going on, and Cope's like, I'm not really sure. And Copeland goes on to say that he doesn't think he could do this anymore as it's affecting his family. So he's got to go away for a while and to take care of them. And he doesn't know if he's coming back. Christian then tells him that he doesn't have a family anymore, so Adam should take care of his. And Cope responds that Christian does indeed have a family, and he offers his hand, and the two men shake hands before Copeland leaves. So it's a little backstage thing. I liked it, though. It helped set up the next segment with FTR.
Let me dispel any rumors because there were a lot. He's not going to wrestle Cena, guys. He's not going and coming back. He's not saying, hey, guys, I'll be back in a minute. I got to go wrestle my longtime rival. I'll be back. But because I swear, Rev, people were wondering that after this segment.
At this segment? Or
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Oh, because I guess combined with the fact that Cena hit the spear the other day and then he hit the five knuckle shuffle and the FU on Saturday.
Yeah. No, he's not going anywhere, guys.
It was literally just Copeland returning the compliments. Yeah.
I think I speak for all of us. It would be amazing if everybody was just cool for a minute and allowed this to happen.
Yeah.
But it's not happening.
It happens in TNA because that's the real Forbidden Door. Or at least it used to be. Have it a House of Glory.
Right? Seriously. Don't worry. No. We're not getting Cena Edge. We're getting Andrade. Don't worry.
Anyway, this segment then led into FTR having to answer for their crimes down in an in-ring interview. So my man Tony Schiavone introduces FTR and Big Stoke, and when they come down, he admonished them and called what they did the worst thing he has ever seen in an AEW ring. And then Cash basically took the mic from him and said that he would handle this. So a lot of booing happens as Cash grabs the mic, and he says that they deserve the boos as what happened on Saturday has kept them up at night since it was never supposed to happen. They just wanted to have Copeland right off into the sunset when they initially attacked him. But instead, he couldn't do that and then brought in his childhood best friend and then his wife into their business. So it's Cope's fault that what happens to Beth happened, and he might as well have dropped her on her micro brawler head himself. His words, not mine. Big Stoke then gets his turn on the mic, saying that he forgives Beth for what she did to him after going to church on Sunday, and that when he went up the ramp, he was trying to introduce himself, and instead, she speared him, and he allowed her to spear him, which didn't even hurt, by the way, and then she carried him to the back. And the worst part of all this, that bit, Beth doesn't even work here. I love it. Meanwhile, no host chant the entire time. Dax then gets his turn, and he says that he was advised to apologize tonight with feeling, but he won't apologize for dropping Copeland on his frail neck or Christian on his CTE-riddled head. As for Beth, what had happened was he had gone over to calm her down, but then she punched him in his broken nose, and his eyes got all watered, and his nose started running and bleeding, and he couldn't really see. So when she continued her attack, he thought she was Copeland, and that's why he grabbed her. And then Cash jumped off the top rope in an attempt to stop him, and he accidentally dropped her. His bad.
It's impressive. The level of mental gymnastics here is impressive.
It was. Oh, I love that. I was like, wow, you actually gave a halfway decent explanation for all of that.
No, they didn't.
No, I mean, like, in terms of, like, halfway decent in terms of, like, bullshitting your way through it.
Fine.
Like, there was a lot of mental gymnastics, as you said, and it's hard to be that good at bullshitting. Anyway, Dax then says that he would never hit a woman, even though he's really stretching the definition of the word there. And he goes to continue, but Willow Nightingale's music hits, and she interrupts him, and he's like, I wasn't done yet. But she comes down to the ring and tells FTR that if they wrestled as well as they lied, they might have won on Saturday. Willow then talks a bunch about Beth and how much she was an inspiration to her and a lot of other people, to the point where Willow was able to come back from broken neck and win the Owen and some other titles. And she says that Beth is one of the reasons why she doesn't take shit from guys like them. Stokely steps up. Obviously, they have their past together. And he tells Willow that it's about 9 o'clock, which means it's past her bedtime, So there's some episodes of the Proud Family that you should go home and watch.
That was
and fall
nuts.
asleep to.
That was nuts.
Great pull on the Proud Family, though. In response, Willow just slaps the taste out his mouth. And FTR step up to her. But Jet Speed come down to get in between them and Willow, with Bailey and Knight landing some big shots on FTR when they try to sucker punch them and knock those two guys out of the ring. And then FTR pulls Stokely out when Willow goes after him. And good point by commentary here, catching the fact that the Conglomeration was prepping for their match, probably couldn't come out and make the save. So you got good guys, Speedball and Kevin Knight coming out instead.
Yeah.
So very long promo here, James, but a very good promo. Great delusional heel work from FTR. Stoke continues to be the biggest schmuck ever. And
Wow.
I don't know why Willow got involved here, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, no, all of it feels random between Willow and Jet Speed. It all feels random. Willow at least has a relationship with Stokely.
Yep.
That I sure, but
Everyone
Again,
just likes Willow. That's where I'm at with the Jet Speed save. That and they fought FTR before. They don't really like each other. And this is probably going to lead to a tag match between those two teams.
And I think so too, which kind of goes back to my initial point that I feel bad that I keep circling back to. I don't know how well this Dynamite built off of All Out. FTR lost. They lost to Cope and Christian. So by all accounts, they shouldn't be anywhere near the tag titles. So I get that they need to build up again. Is Jet Speed just going to be that team that loses? That's what it feels like. Like, I don't think they've won a major feud.
I don't think so either. I don't think Speedball's won some matches, but
Speedball was undefeated for a while, and then Okada came in and just his AEW career hasn't been the same ever since.
Yeah, and I understand why they put him with Kevin Knight, and I like the tag team together a lot.
I do too.
Gear has always been on point. I think it was Sonic and Tails on Saturday after their Speed Racer get up that they've been rocking for a while. Yep. So I like them together a lot, and they get wins, but you're right, they haven't won anything big yet.
Yeah,
and seeing them feud with FTR kind of leads me to believe that that's going to continue because, as you mentioned, FTR needs to bounce back up.
And I respect that. They do. FTR is too big to not be getting wins. But this just feels like a nothing feud.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Does it lead to FTR starting to build back up and then they win the tag titles and then Cope and Christian come back and beat them for the titles?
Probably. Honestly, probably. But I think really it's a bummer that Cope is leaving for however long he's leaving. Yeah. I hope it's not too long. A month, sure. I hope it's not too long because then it's like, why did they win?
Yeah. Hopefully he can get back by Wrestle Dream. But
yeah, that'd be great. Or at Wrestle Dream at the very least.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like he comes back at Wrestle Dream.
Yeah.
Also, does this mean now that Willow and Beth are winning the AEW Women's Tag Titles? Or do you think this was just a one-off for Beth?
I don't think it's going to be a one-off. I mean, I don't think she's signing a regular contract, you know? Like, I don't think we're going to be seeing her wrestling regularly. But I think Beth again for sure. Yeah. Like, she's going to hit her finish on Stokely. You know she is.
Yeah. I guess
and he's going to sell it amazing.
Yeah, I wonder if they had her hit the spear. I mean, it was probably easier on the ramp and what they were doing, but it's like, we can say spear. I don't know what to call the Glam Slam yet.
I also, we need to come up with a name for Beth that's better than Beth Copeland. I am a fan of Beth Bird. Phoenix.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh. I was thinking maybe Beth Tucson. You know,
Beth Arizona.
Yeah,
Beth Arizona. There you go. God.
Yeah, in the chat thinks FTR should win the tag titles at Wrestle Dream. Now, I think that would be a very quick turnaround after their high-profile loss, but maybe the one after that.
Yeah.
I can see that
What's the
happening.
last one at the end of the pay-per-view? At the end of the year, what's the last pay-per-view?
World's End, but
World's
Full
End.
Gears before that.
Yeah, I would do World's End.
That makes sense.
Full Gear to World's End, somewhere in between.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep rolling because we're gonna have a lot to figure out with FTR and where they're headed. So we'll talk about that more next week as we head into another After All Out promo. This time from MJF, who was just covered in blood following his tables and tacks match, and he says he is so angry right now that he doesn't even have the energy to yell anymore. And he was at the top of the industry not too long ago with people chanting his name and putting it on signs in the marquee, everyone singing his music. And then Adam Cole came into his life. And then Adam Cole broke his ankle and Max's heart. And then Max lost his title. And since then, he hasn't been the same, as if there's something been missing. And he hasn't really been MJF, but rather playing a caricature of MJF. And while he's been doing that, guys like Hangman, Ospreay, and Swerve, who were in his dust previously, he's now in their dust. So seems like he's going to go away for a little bit. You know, he's got his honeymoon. And when
he's filming a movie.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, Alicia tweeted it. She was like, after the pay-per-view, she was like, one, I hope he's not dead.
Yeah.
If he's not dead, we're still not
him.
going on the honeymoon because he's got a movie to film.
You better be dead because I'm gonna fucking kill him. All right, so I guess he's going to film a movie, but he says when he comes back, he is going to have removed all doubt, and he won't be returning until he's in a position to get to back to the top of professional wrestling his way.
Yeah.
So I guess we're not going to see MJF for a while, which sucks. But when he does get back,
I think it's for the best.
Yeah.
I don't think it sucks, actually. I think it's for the best that he goes away for a little bit.
It just sucks generally just because I love watching him so much. But you got a good point. I think it's going to be good for him to go away. And because I thought he had a great point. It is something we never said it, but it's when we're like, oh, when MJF is on, he's great. But sometimes when he's being kind of lazy in his promos, he's playing a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a good point there. So hopefully we can get the much more honed in, focused, and just flat out evil MJF that we've seen in the past.
That'd be nice.
Yep.
And I think the contract is going to come into play on the return, too.
Yes.
I think he's going to come back, and the next week he'll have a title match.
7 days, yeah, right?
Yeah.
But Maria's got a good point. It's a great promo. Fernando believes AEW is running low on big names. I understand some guys are out, Swerve and Ospreay, or two guys I just mentioned.
Kenny, Cole.
Yep. MJF now seemingly leaving for a little while. I guess that's a point, but they are so deep that I think we're still okay.
I think the big thing is we're seeing people elevated because of these. Like Mark Briscoe's got a big win.
Yep.
Darby Allin is reintroducing himself to AEW. He is on the rise again. And I think that's great. Orange Cassidy just came back.
Yeah, that's our next topic. Spoiler alert, same goes Dumbledore.
We'll get into the matchup later. I feel like there's a concentrated effort to build up Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah.
The return of Eddie Kingston, despite that matchup, like reflecting on it, it was bad. So the revolving door keeps on turning. We've lost some names, but we're getting some guys back, and it's cool.
I also think that helps keep the product fresh so that people, don't get too burnt out in the ring and the crowd doesn't get too burnt out on them either. And I think you do need some consistent top guys who are there almost all the time. Right now, you got guys like Hangman, obviously, is going to be one of those dudes for a while. Okada's got the other big title. He'll be around, and he's got his thing with Takeshita going, which has been great. And I think with Don's family, you can quickly almost elevate anybody in the family, almost anybody, to get a title match somewhere in the card. Yeah. So you have them. There's still plenty of top tier talent floating around. Just gotta look.
And I think we're also close to the return of Jay White.
Oh, please give me Switchblade.
Dude, please.
And what Ace Austin's gonna start coming up soon. Like, I don't know what's up. He's been doing a lot of promos and stuff, but I don't think I've seen him wrestle
All that much, yeah.
So
it's okay.
but he's a Collision cowboy already. So
it's coming. It's coming.
Guns up. All right. As we mentioned, our next match was the Conglomeration, and it was Mark Briscoe, Hologram, and a mystery partner facing off against Don Callis and family members Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Hechicero. Brief thing that I forgot earlier with the Conglomeration promo, there was a clone teaser at the end.
Yeah. All right. That's what that was.
Yes.
Okay.
In case anyone was confused and thought it was a Tron Ares thing. No, it's a clone. It was for clone.
I thought it was a hologram thing, but I understand. I mean, it was a hologram thing, but you know what I meant. Yeah. All right. Cool.
I don't think they'd really had any of those on Dynamite yet. They've mostly been on Collision. So
yeah.
Anyway, for the match, Don came out with damn near the entire family. I think it was everyone but Fletcher. And came down and grabbed the mic because he wanted to say a few things and reminded everybody how great of a painter he is, world class. And he showed off some of his previous works up on the Tron. Notable by its absence, the one with Kenny Omega.
I do need to point out, too, that I am fairly certain, I wouldn't bet the house on it, but Don has gone back and forth saying that he's had these paintings commissioned.
Yes.
Versus he himself having made them.
Well, yeah, I think that makes it funnier.
It's hilarious. That's my point. It's fucking hilarious. But what a carny.
He is the best. Carny piece of shit, but the best at it. Anyway, for the last 6 days and nights, Don has been working on his masterpiece. And it's so big it has to be wheeled out. So a couple of stage hands wheel it out underneath a sheet. And they pull the sheet off and the lights flash. And instead of the painting being there, the painting has been destroyed. And a returning Orange Cassidy steps out and his music hits. And Don is irate. So he immediately starts sending family members up the ramp at him. But Hologram and Briscoe come running out. And for some reason, just them, even though there were like 5 extra family members on ringside. And a huge brawl started. With I think it was Briscoe was fighting Archer, and then Rocky was fighting Hologram, and it left Orange to go 2-on-1 with Okada and Takeshita. And he did okay there for a bit, and then the numbers game caught up, but eventually Mark was able to get them on the outside, and Orange went up and hit one of his lazy elbow drops onto the two of them, and then shortly thereafter the match begun. To get to the end of the match, I don't know how this happened, just by the sheer physics of it. But Takeshita was doing his thing where he hit that like crunch move on Hologram and was going for the wheelbarrow suplex. And somehow Hologram flipped around underneath him and hit a destroyer.
Was it a destroyer or was it a?
It was a destroyer.
It was a destroyer, right?
I mean, I get confused between the two.
I think it was a destroyer. You're ending up on your head. A code red. You're ending up on your back. So I think it was a destroyer.
Yeah, because Takeshita got spiked.
That was
beautiful. And again, I don't understand the physics of that. Yep. Anyway, that sent Takeshita out of the ring. Hechicero, who was the other legal man, re-entered the ring, and he attempted to hit a mad scientist bomb onto Hologram, but Hologram was able to get out of it. Orange Cassidy then stepped in, hit Hechicero with an orange punch, and then Hologram followed it up with a portal bomb for the win.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of show-stealing moves in this. Hologram versus Hechicero fucked. Hologram versus Takeshita was also awesome, culminating with that destroyer. And everything else obviously was great. Okada and Briscoe have weirdly good chemistry. I don't know how often they've had matches, but they've got really good chemistry. And Hologram, I've seen him here and there, but he's on Collision so often. I haven't seen him enough. And watching him go against Hechicero was, as I said, was crazy. So this match was awesome. I loved every second of it. And nice to see. I could see that. Why they gave Hologram the pinfall here for what happened after.
Oh no, I'm
great
so
to see
glad.
Orange back.
I'm so glad that it was Hologram who got the pin and not Orange, because Orange doesn't need it.
Yeah.
He resulted in the finish. Like that orange punch was what led to the finish, but he didn't need to get the pin. So he looked good in hitting the orange punch. Hologram gets the big 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. And Mark didn't need it after the huge win at the pay-per-view. So just very, very, very well booked. I loved that that spin that Hechicero was doing to Hologram.
Yeah, I think the mad scientist bomb. He hit a few of them throughout the match.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then the counter was what just put it over the top.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy Orange is back. I had gotten so used to him being so integral to the weekly AEW storytelling, whether it was with the Death Riders or the when he was international champion or whatever it was. He was so important to AEW for so long, and I'm just so happy he's back. And I think you never want to see someone get hurt and that be the reason they're off TV, but I think he did need a little bit of a reset. So now that he's back, we could throw him in a lot of different directions, and it would be satisfying. Personally, I would love to see him be the person. I know it's not going to happen. I would love to see him be the person to take the title off of Okada.
I was wondering if you're going to go Fletcher or Okada, and I was like, I hope he goes Okada.
I'm fine either way. Like, I don't think Orange... It's weird because it's very clear they're not putting the world title on Orange anytime soon.
Yeah.
But he's above being the TNT champion. Like,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Fletcher's doing a great job at rehabilitating that title. Sorry, my sinuses are acting up.
It's all good. No, I agree with you. Because also, too, you have the history with the Okada as well, as that they brought it up. And their interactions during the match tonight were cool. Orange and Okada, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Rainmaker pose, which he hasn't hit in forever. Yeah, it's always the middle finger. So the fact that he did the Rainmaker pose and Orange went right for that hug. Lots of lore there. Lots of chaos lore there.
Yeah. So that's why it would be cool to see them, go at it. And Orange winning that title would be great. So I don't know if that's the direction they want to go. Because I was also thinking maybe Takeshita is the guy who beats.
That's
Okada.
the thing. I think it's going to be Takeshita.
Yeah.
But I would not scoff at it being Orange.
Yeah. And Orange is not a man who needs a title. We've seen that before.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind it, though.
Yeah. But I say let him get his feet wet again. He just got back. Within 3-4 months, I imagine he'll be gunning for somebody.
I would also like to take this time. Orange is back. He's with the Conglomeration. Kris Statlander is the AEW Women's World Champion. Respectfully.
And just kick the shit out of Wheeler Yuta.
Thank you. Respectfully, you were wrong. You were hyping me up for this best friends reunion, and I kept saying, I don't care. And now it does. I feel like we are further away from it than we were than before Orange was back. So
I don't know. Statlander never really seemed to have a problem with the Conglomeration. I don't think she was a member.
Oh no, I can see her coming back to Orange and the Conglomeration being a thing because of Willow, her and Willow.
Yeah.
But fuck Wheeler Yuta.
Little shit.
Yep.
Maybe you can even put Chucky back on TV just to try to negotiate a peace.
I love that he's just hanging out and he's in a suit. He's got his little AEW badge on, and people are like, Chuck, you have to be working. He's like, no, don't worry about it. I'm just hanging out with friends. Don't worry about it. But throughout every segment, you'll have another AEW executive trying to get Chucky to do something important or necessary.
Yeah, he's cutting a promo with them or doing an interview with them backstage, and then Jerry Lynn comes over. He's like, Chuck, aren't you supposed to be helping with this match? It's like, no, I'm here with them. What do you mean?
There is so much paperwork that needs to be done, Chuck. It's fine. I mean,
if Jerry Lynn can get TV time, we can get Chucky some TV.
I agree.
That being said, it's Jerry fucking lit. So
we got some comments we should hit.
all right, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's start with the one more relevant to us. The best friends are over, unfortunately, says Maria, but they could come back. I know Chuck can't wrestle anymore, unfortunately, and Trent is completely MIA, and Rocky's being a dick with the Don Callis family. But just at least give me Stat and Orange together again, and again, hopefully we can put Chucky T with them, even if it's just in the back. And Fernando, as we were talking about Switchblade Jay White before, believes that he should be a heel when he returns. I don't think anyone's going to boo him. This is a problem.
Yeah. Unless he immediately goes after Hangman, I don't think anyone's going to boo him.
Oh, yeah, which would actually really work.
Yeah.
But
because he's got some wins over Hangman.
He's got all of the wins over Hangman.
Yeah.
I think Hanger beat him once, and he claims bullshit because it was interference. So, yeah, I think if you're going to bring him back heel, you could do that. But at the same time, the Bang Bang Gang is kind of, I know there's only the two of them, but they're kind of face at the moment. And if you want to throw Ace Austin in there with them, then I think you got to keep him face.
Yeah.
Anyway, following this match, we had Kyle Fletcher's music hit, and he came out as we saw him for the first time since losing his AEW Men's World Championship match. And after some pleasantries where he says hello to Hologram and Orange, and he's happy Orange is back. He's like, Mark Briscoe, not so happy to see you. He said on Saturday that he proved he is at the tippy top of wrestling. And even though he wasn't ready that night, he's also proved that he is the future of the industry. He then says Hangman was right about one thing. The next morning after he lost, it was the worst he has ever felt. But then he looked in the mirror and he was reminded of who he is and that he is on track to become the greatest TNT champion of all time, which leads him to why he is here. Even though there's a bunch of dorks in the ring, it is rather intriguing that Hologram is undefeated in AEW. Now, is he 34-0? I believe.
Yeah, 34-0 is the number.
Just making sure I didn't get dyslexic. And Hologram has the longest undefeated streak for any man in AEW history. So for next week, Kyle lays down the challenge.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I knew it was happening, but again, it just happens on Collision, and if a tree falls in the forest.
Yeah.
And no one's watching on Saturday.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kyle lays down the challenge of title versus streak, saying he can think of no better way to get back on the horse of being the first man to pin Hologram in an AEW ring. So that match should be cool. I guess if you're going to have your first loss, have it be in a championship match to one of the quickest rising stars, I think, in AEW.
You're speaking that Hologram win into existence.
Well, here's my thing. I think Clone debuts next week and costs him. That's my prediction.
And he joins the fucking Don Callis family.
Oh, I don't think he joins the Don Callis family. I think he just wants to go after
Hologram.
Yeah.
This is given real Sin Cara versus
Sin Cara Negra.
Yeah. God.
I'm looking forward to it, though. I've seen some highlights of the guy who's going to be clone, and he also rocks. So the Hologram clone matches are going to absolutely fuck.
I agree. I'm sure they will.
Good lucha things.
Good lucha things.
Maria, big fan of this promo, calling it great. Fletcher looks and sounds like a main eventer week after week. He really does. He is, since joining the Don Callis family, I feel like he's really found himself. Yeah. Because a lot of people always were like, oh, he's like, Will Ospreay light. And now he is anything but. You could still tell he hits some of those moves occasionally. I know he hit a couple in the match on Saturday in the sequence where Hangman hit big pressure as well. But he feels so much more. I think he looks like he's so much more comfortable on the mic in the ring, where he's able to kind of just do his own thing and go out there and just wrestle. So, loving what he's been doing. Fernando saying the Hologram undefeated streak should have been a bigger story. I think it was on Collision, but it would have been cooler to
spend more time with him on Dynamite.
Yeah, even if it's just like video packages, because the only time you really heard it was like Hologram would be like out there every once in a while, and Shivani would just be like, yeah, this hologram kid's great over on Collision. He's undefeated. And like it was just like a random throwaway line. Like I agree with you. You could have done more with it.
Yep.
But he is super hyped over on Collision.
Only to lose on Dynamite.
It appears it might be the case.
Bummer.
Yeah. After this, we had that Mina Shirakawa backstage interview with Renee, who asked her about the match, obviously, saying that there are both professional and personal stakes for Mina tonight. Mina said that she hasn't heard from Tony since Saturday. She's not really sure what's going on with her because they promised each other that they would always fight even if they're hurt. So the fact she hasn't heard from them is not great. However, tonight, she will fight for Tony, she will fight for herself, and she will fight for the AEW Women's World Championship. After that, we came back from commercial with a vignette for Jurassic Express. It was a bit of a combination of the video packet, the video clip of Jungle Boy pulling him up out of the ground and bringing Luchasaurus back to life. Cut in with the history of Jurassic Express, then winning the tag titles, Christian turning on them, and then eventually everything that happened at All Out with Jack narrating over it. And we will see them again next week.
I would never say that the entrance is more over than they are, but the entrance is fucking over.
People were doing it, but like when they were staring at each other, everyone just started waving their hands.
And like people were doing it tonight when they were doing the package.
Yep.
Like people love the song, man. Like I love the song. Yeah, the song is great. But people love that song.
I'm very curious to see their character work now that they're back together because they have obviously both been through a lot and they're very different. In the ring, I'm talking about. I know obviously Luchasaurus had his medical issues, but like in the ring, they are completely different characters. So it's interesting. I think it's going to be interesting to watch how they interact together, how they wrestle together. Yeah, it appears they're going to be faces, but
I like this because it's one of those things that I think both characters grew so much on their little excursions. Like the Scapegoat character helped develop Jack Perry as a person. I think Kill Switch helped develop Luchasaurus, not to the same degree, but it helped develop Luchasaurus as a character a little bit too. So now you have these babyface characters that are going to have a little bit of an edge to them. Like, I don't know if you saw, but when Perry was facing the Young Bucks and he had that little interaction with them, he had the knife holster on his side.
I noticed it.
So, like, it feels like Jungle Boy is becoming Jungle Man a little bit. Like, we're going to be hearing Jungle Jack, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm cool. Like, I think that's what needs to be. We're hitting the 6-year anniversary of Dynamite next week. That's awesome. Congratulations to AEW. But even beyond that, it's like 6 years is a long time, and these characters have grown a lot in that time.
Yeah, like when did we I'm trying to remember if we saw them split up, because wasn't it like the Christian Cage Jack Perry cage match?
Yeah.
When Luchasaurus turned on Jack?
No, it wasn't a cage match. It was just a match.
I thought we saw them in a cage match.
Jack Perry faced Kill Switch in a cage.
That's what I was thinking of then.
Yeah.
So, because that was at one of the Full Gears in Newark.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking of. So yeah, they've very clearly come a long way, the both of them. So I like it. I think it's going to be cool to see them with some edge.
Yeah.
Maria bringing up between this now and the Acclaimed getting back together seemingly as well. AEW has the best tag division in wrestling, which is a far cry from where it was, I think, a few months ago, now that they've been able to really rejuvenate the division.
I talked about it a lot with the pay-per-view. We're seeing a very rejuvenated tag division. We're seeing a very stacked tag division. And I think there needs to be a little bit of a shakeup in terms of, like, Brodido is doing a great job. I'm officially, like, I tip my cap to Brodido. They've more than earned my respect as a tag team. I don't think they're going to be tag champs for long, like super long, but they're doing a great job of holding the belts during this retransition. Like, you have the 4 tag teams that were in the ladder match. You have FTR. You have when Cope and Christian come back. You have potentially the Acclaimed. You have
Hurt Syndicate.
You have Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy.
GOA, if you want to, keep them there.
GOA. 10 teams, and we haven't gone through everybody yet.
Yeah, any combination of the Death Riders you want. Like, yeah, there's so many.
Hook and Eddie Kingston.
Big Bill and Brian Keith, who they're facing on Saturday.
So, is there a hierarchy? Absolutely. But there is more variety now than when I remember we sat down on the channel here and I was reading through AEW tag teams and I'm like, fuck, there is just nobody here.
Yeah.
So good on them for really, really putting in the time.
I'm going to take a small victory lap here and say I was right about the tag title tournament. I think that was really the impetus that got all this going. And ever since then, the tag division has been back to where it was when AEW started. So shouts to Tony Khan for booking that, and shout for me being right.
That said, Brodido.
It works. It works. Dude, the pop they are going to get when Bandido finally gets Brody to do the Macarena is going to be nuclear.
I saw somebody say that the person who should cost them the tag titles is a returning Buddy Matthews, and that leads to Buddy taking the ROH title off of Bandido too.
Interesting. I mean, it depends on whether or not you want to put him back with Brody, at all or not. But
I would just have him cost them, and then he goes off and do his own thing. I think all three. I think that scenario should end with all 3 men going off and doing their own thing.
Perhaps.
Like, Brody should win a title in AEW sooner than later. A single title.
Yeah.
Likewise for Bandido, who is having a banner year.
Yeah, he might win Wrestler of the Year.
He's very much in the conversation.
Yeah, he's been the man.
PWI be damned.
Fernando saying that Jack is going to be a better and more vocal leader for the team this time, and I think that's true. I would like to see Luchasaurus speak more again. Remember in the beginning, he spoke more than Jack ever did, and I can see now Jack being the more vocal guy because his promo skills have increased by a lot. But it'd be nice to hear, Luchasaurus speak again. He's very good at it. He's a well-learned dinosaur.
What's the over-under on Marco's son reappearing?
It'd be cool. I mean, he came back that one time.
I mean, he's retired now.
Yeah.
But I could see him, showing
pop in. Yeah, maybe like help at a pay-per-view or something.
Yeah.
He's fun. Yeah. Maria's got Hangman as her Wrestler of the Year so far.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I would probably put Swerve in.
Swerve is like mid-year, yes, but because he's going to miss so much time, it's going to be hard to vote him Wrestler of the Year if he's only out there for 6 months.
Is he hurt?
Remember he had meniscus surgery because he had been wrestling on it for 6 years.
I didn't know he had the surgery. I knew that he was hurt, but I didn't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They were like, yeah, you can go do it. Like, we'll be okay. People are back.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know how you wrestle. He was wrestling on that in NXT. That's how long he had it.
That's nuts.
I know. He's lucky he didn't fuck his knee up even further. So we wish him a speedy recovery.
Yes, absolutely.
Let us hit the last thing we got to talk about here tonight, which saw Powerhouse Hobbs face off against Claudio Castagnoli. I'll just say it, meat. Claudio is an underrated meat guy, but he's so damn strong, he kind of has to be.
He's a lean meat. He's like turkey meat.
Yeah. Like white chicken breast meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I think the single word you could use to describe this match was just slam. Because Hobbs hit 18 power slams.
Which was learning from Joe.
I know. And after that 18th, or not power slams, he had 18 body slams. That being said,
he did hit a thick ass power slam.
I've mentioned this before. He got into the top 5 power slams. And I mean, there was only really ever 3, but I had to make it a top 4 now because it's Dustin, Joe, and Randy. And now him.
Yeah. You know, that's a good one too. It's not comparable, but it's a good one. Fletcher.
Yeah, he pulled out a good one on Saturday, and I was like, ooh, maybe I got to add him.
He's
I
got a
need to see
decent
more out of him.
It's in his crusade to continue to mimic Randy Orton. He is hitting these power slams.
He has such an interesting, not to get too sidetracked, but he has such an interesting combination of like people you can tell he's like kind of emulating. Like sometimes it's Will. I mean, beginning it was Will. He's kind of moved away from that a little bit, but there's like Randy in there. There's a lot of Sami Zayn in there. Slash Generico. Like there's so many people he's just picking stuff from, and he's so good at it.
It's really cool.
Anyway, as I was saying, after Hobbs hit like that 18th body slam, he pulls down the straps and he's ready to really go after Claudio. But Pac comes out and he jumps up on the apron. This distracts Hobbs, and Hobbs goes after him. And that allowed Claudio to come in and hit a massive European uppercut. And then Claudio was able to use that momentum to basically get in like a small package onto Hobbs, and that get popped down for the 3 and the win. After the match, Samoa Joe came down to go after Pac, but Pac ran off into the crowd. And then in the ring, Hobbs hit Claudio with a lariat and knocked him over the ropes to the floor right in front of Joe. And Joe was just daring Claudio to get up and fight.
That was great.
While everyone's distracted there, Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia come in from behind, hitting the ring and blindsiding Hobbs, beating him down until Joe realizes what's going on. And then he hops in the ring and pulls Garcia off. But the numbers game quickly catches up to the Ops as Claudio gets back in the ring and Pac returns from the cloud. And there's a 4-on-2 beatdown until the music of the champ, Hangman Adam Page, hits. And he comes down, low bridging Claudio to the floor as he's getting in the ring before sending Garcia out there with him. The Ops fend off Yuta and Pac, and the 3 men hold the ring as we head into commercial. And then, James, I believe you've mentioned we are getting Joe, Hobbs, and Hangman facing off against Moxley. Was it Moxley, Claudio, and Garcia, I believe?
Yes.
Next week on Dynamite. So, love this match. They made Hobbs, I think you also said this earlier, made Hobbs look like a beast in this. He just looked awesome.
Very
Claudio,
clearly an effort to build him up.
Yeah, Claudio also looked great because it's Claudio and he can wrestle a broomstick to a good match.
Yep.
So I loved watching this, and I know not everyone's going to love what happened after, but I think there's probably an audible because Shibata's out. And
I don't think he's out. I think they just wrote him out.
Yeah, well, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Again, I missed what happened to him because I forgot about
it was just that, what's his name? Garcia took him out.
Yeah, okay. So maybe this was the play.
What?
So maybe this was the play, but it makes sense. It's just kind of weird to see Hanger backtrack to the
I like that they are acknowledging that they were there for him, so now he's there for them.
Yeah, good point.
I really, really, really appreciate that. I think it's good storytelling, and it's good for Hangman, who has a history of not being a good friend back to the people who are there for them. The Dark Order are dead in a ditch somewhere right now.
That's not true. We saw them the other week.
Alan Angels is back.
Yeah, he's in Ring of Honor, right?
Yep. I mean, so is Dark Order.
Yeah, I know, but he got signed, I think.
Yeah. At the very least, he's appearing. He was initially on Dynamite in catering, that you saw him in that Young Bucks catering bit. But regardless, I got really excited. I miss Dark Order.
Same.
I appreciate that they're doing it the way they're doing it. But again, I just have no desire to see Hangman interacting with Jon Moxley. None at all. How do you end the show with Darby Allin doing that shit with the fire, and he's not even in the match next week? It just feels so bizarre.
He's in a completely different match, too.
Who's he wrestling?
It's him and Statlander against Marina and Wheeler. Mixed tag.
My God.
Darby and Statlander on the same team could be fun, though.
Sure, she could literally throw Darby at them. I think that's fun.
Oh, can they please do that, actually?
I would love for him to hit a coffin drop off of Stat's shoulders. I think that'd be awesome. But look, I stand by what I've said all night. I thought this was a really fun, a really strong Dynamite. It just feels very, very weird as a follow-up to All Out. But I'm gonna call it a win. This was a net win show.
Yeah, and I guess we can get into just how we felt about Dynamite overall, considering that is your thought. I love this episode. I think you made a lot of good points. As Maria, the trio champs are still the ops.
Yeah, they have been defending. They have been defending, just not a lot.
They defended on Saturday, I presume. They didn't.
Hobbs and Joe wrestled in a tag match.
Oh, that's right. And Shibata
wrestled.
Right. My bad. Fernando saying Tony should already have a challenger for Hangman. I imagine that'll come up sometime next week.
Who do you think should be the next big challenger for Hangman? Like the next big pay-per-view feud?
Yeah, who does he fight at Wrestle Dream? It's a good question.
Right?
I'm trying to think who's the heel that's won something big that could step up and challenge him.
I would like to see Jay White return next week, attack, and that sets up the match. But I know better than to want anything.
Yeah, I still.
Maria saying Takeshita.
He can't challenge until he has his match for the IWGP Championship.
Yes. Which is coming up.
Yeah, it's soon, right? Isn't it? Is it October?
Yeah, hold on. Let me look up.
Just because I don't think they would want to, let's say, upset New Japan by having the guy who's going for their top title eating a pin to, even if it is to AEW's world champion, it's still, is annoying.
October 13th at King of Pro Wrestling. So it's a month away. No, less than 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
3 weeks away.
And I don't know when Wrestle Dream is. I guess it's towards the end of October, maybe early November. But yeah, I don't see Takeshita, unfortunately, going for the World Heavyweight Championship as much as I want to see him first Hangman. But again, just because he's probably going for the Unified against
Wrestle Dream is a week after King of Pro Wrestling. It's the 18th.
Interesting. So they could do it. I don't know.
That'd be nuts. Takeshita winning the IWGP 1 week and then the week after, going for the AEW World title.
If he wins the IWGP Championship, then he's definitely not going for the AEW World title. No, because again, he loses.
No. Go all goddamn out. Have Takeshita win the IWGP. We
just had all goddamn out.
Close the show. Wrap it up. I'm done. I'm
sorry, you walked right into that one. But I could see depending on when they're doing the turn, I could see if Takeshita loses to is it still Zack Sabre Jr.?
Yes.
Loses to him and then loses to Hangman and then Don kicks him out of the family. That I can see.
Yeah, I can see that too. I would. Oh God, Fernando! What are you doing?
With the worst idea.
Oh my God, the darkest timeline. But you know what? The worst fucking part is, I could see Jericho coming back at the 6-year anniversary of Dynamite.
You know what else kind of works? The symmetry.
Yes, I agree.
It all. Especially, there's been a lot of rumors Jericho might leave. Maybe he shows up at the Rumble in January.
Did Hangman ever get his win back over Jericho?
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
And it seems like now is as good a time as any if he's going to dip. Unless Tony just, does what he always does and keeps him on the bench. Who knows? I guess, just as I was saying to close things out for me, I love Dynamite tonight. I think you made a lot of good points about maybe not being the best follow-up to All Out, maybe not capitalizing, pushing the story the proper way, but the wrestling was so good tonight. The promos were so good tonight. So I loved it. I thought it was great. I could see you're nitpicking, but I don't even want to call it
acknowledge,
nitpicking.
by the way, it's nitpicking. I acknowledge that it's nitpicking because I think the show.
I think you're right. I think, as I called it earlier, it's very good constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I just still had a great time.
Yeah. No, I did too. Yeah. I lots of fun matches. Maria saying it was an excellent show. I agree. I think it was a really good show. I'm thinking, I guess, bigger picture, and that's where I'm a little frustrated. But overall, really enjoyed myself. I'm really looking forward to next week.
Yeah. And you finally got your women's tag titles.
Oh my god!
So quit your bitching.
Oh god, it's so good. You guys are welcome. Years of me bitching. I think I've been bitching since like day 2 of AEW.
Yeah.
Okay, they're introducing an AEW Women's World Championship. Okay, what about a tag title? I think I've been doing it for that long. So
since before we've been doing this podcast, you've been saying I want women's tag titles, and
there you go.
Various group chats I am in with you.
I care. I am an ally.
So James gets to take the victory lap on that. I get to take it on the men's tag division, and we're going to go home from there. So I would like to thank you all for watching us here at the Market Down Podcast. We appreciate it if you like to subscribe. If you like the video, let us know that you're. Lets us know that you're enjoying what we're doing here. I have been off tonight, and
I felt it myself, so don't worry about it. I think something's in the air tonight.
Probably, I'm distracted. Anyway, if like I said, if you like the video, let us know that you're enjoying what you're doing, and we continue to do it. And if you subscribe, continue to get all the good stuff here on the channel. Got the Gym Pack Zone tomorrow. A lot of stuff going on with Impact, especially with all the crossover in NXT. So be sure to check out James' rant about all of that tomorrow. We've been doing our best to cover Raws and SmackDowns recently. Go ahead.
No, I keep going. I'm covering Victory Road on Friday.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so even bonus Gym Packed on Friday.
Yep.
And then we will be back here next week to cover Dynamite as well. For those of us who want to follow us on some social media stuff, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. If you're watching here on YouTube, all those links are in the description below. If you're watching over on Facebook or on Twitter, you want to follow us on some other places. Twitter is at marketdown_pod. Instagram is at marketdownpod. YouTube.com/marketdown3665. And then marketdownpod.bsky.social if you want to follow us over there. Or just search Marketdown Podcast on any of your social media platforms, and you'll be able to pick us up. James, anything before we go?
Nope. Happy to have you back, buddy. I missed you on Saturday.
Yeah.
And we're going to be busy again this Saturday.
Yeah. Very busy.
But
shout out to David and Kat. My friends get married. Our friends get married this weekend. Congratulations to them. That's why I'm distracted. I've been working on my speech too much. So
you've had this speech locked and loaded for years.
I know it's a joke.
Guys, more than likely 90% I'll be doing Gym Pack tomorrow, 100% doing Victory Road on Friday. All
okay,
right?
Cool. So yeah, definitely guys, subscribe so you can catch all of that. And for James Ashanti, my name is Nick Cummings. Thank you so much for watching us here at the Market Down Podcast. Have a good one, everyone. See you on Saturday, James.